Hello and good evening. Thank you for joining us. You're watching News at 10 with me, Muhammad Amin Carlos. Well, the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI, are looking into backup plans involving COVID-19 vaccine supplies after growing concerns regarding the AstraZeneca vaccine. However, its Minister Khairi Jamaluddin Abu Bakar, who is also the coordinating minister for the National Immunization Program, said all decisions will depend on the vaccine committee meeting on Tuesday. Currently, Malaysia has not yet received the delivery of the aforementioned vaccine, which is expected to arrive in May. 6.4 million doses and an additional 1.4 million extra doses have been procured through a purchase from COVAX.
Kita ada beberapa perancangan lain. Sebagai contoh, kita ada satu tawaran daripada Pfizer untuk tambah sebanyak 12.8 juta dos tambahan kepada apa yang telah pun kita tempah. Setakat ini kita dah tempah lebih kurang 30 juta.
There have been previous reports involving the deaths of AstraZeneca vaccine recipients in Europe believed to be caused by blood clotting. However, there is no clinical studies that directly links the vaccine as the cause of the anomaly. Meantime, Khairi said MOSTI will obtain the latest clinical data from the other COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers such as Pfizer-BioNTech, Novavax and Johnson & Johnson for analysis to determine their effectiveness against new variants of COVID-19, including the ones from South Africa and Brazil. This, he said, is because any future purchases of vaccines would largely rely on their long-term safety and efficacy against these variants.
Perkara ini kita akan terus pantau. Dan kita kena buat lebih banyak lagi genomic analysis ataupun analisa kepada genom virus yang kita kesan di Malaysia supaya kita tahu kes-kes di Malaysia ini adalah daripada varian mana.
Well, a total of 279,023 individuals in the first phase of the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, PICK, have completed receiving both doses of their vaccine shots as of yesterday. And Health Minister Dato Sri Dr. Adham Baba said 508,481 individuals were given the first dose during the same period, bringing the total number of doses administered so far to 787,504. Well, in a post on his official Twitter account, Dato Sri Dr. Adham informed that Selangor recorded as state with the highest first dose recipients at 71,403, followed by Sarawak 52,157, Perak 50,334, Sabah 46,459 and Kuala Lumpur 44,925. Now, Selangor also recorded the highest number of recipients who had completed vaccine regimen, totaling 34,716 individuals, followed by Perak 29,412, Kuala Lumpur 26,637, Sarawak 26,600 and Sabah 24,737. On the number of registrations for PICK, Dato Sri Dr. Adham said it was 7,808,785 or 32.20%, with Selangor recording the highest number with over 2.1 million registrations. PICK will continue for the second phase, which is expected to begin this month until August this year, involving 9.4 million senior citizens aged 60 and above, as well as the vulnerable groups with morbidity problems, in addition to persons with disabilities. The third phase, scheduled from May to February 2022, is for individuals aged 18 and above, targeting about 13.7 million people. On another note, Dato Sri Dr. Adham said his ministry will identify the causes of the majority of Malaysians having yet to register for the COVID-19 vaccine. Well, he said that MOH was targeting for 70 to 80% of Malaysians to register for the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, but thus far, only 7.6 million out of the 26.7 million had registered through the MySejahtera application.
Adakah kita tak kempen cukup kuat ke? Ataupun mereka takut ke, tunggu dan lihat ke? Seperti banyak orang kata, tunggu dulu, lihat dulu. Ada berita-berita tentang vaksin AstraZeneca begini, begitu. Ada yang Pfizer kata begitu, begini je.
Dato Sri Dr. Adham said that the MOH hoped that the number of those registered would increase before the second phase of the COVID-19 vaccine injection commencing on 17 April to avoid difficulties in the final phase of the vaccine injection. The Health Minister said that manual registration at health offices, health clinics, government and private hospitals had also been opened to make it easier for residents who did not have technology and internet access to register for the vaccine. In the meantime, he said that the effectiveness of the vaccine injection had been proven when the statistics of healthcare workers infected with COVID-19 showed a decline. Well, now for the latest COVID-19 situation in Malaysia. The number of new cases remains relatively low, as 1,349 new infections were reported in the past 24 hours. And according to a statement by Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, only 7 of them were imported, while the remaining 1,342 cases were local transmissions. Well, Sarawak today became the state with the highest number of new infections with 419 cases, followed by Selangor with 343 new cases, and Pulau Pinang 185 cases. Meanwhile, 1,270 cases made a recovery and were discharged today, bringing the cumulative number of recoveries up to 355,162, which translate to a 95.5% of total cases. And following this development, the total number of active cases currently monitored in the country stands at 14,509. 186 of them are being treated in the intensive care units, with 94 of them requiring respiratory aid. MOH also reported 2 new COVID-19 related deaths in the past 24 hours, and the number of casualties now stands at 1,288. Meanwhile, 10 new clusters were reported today, involving 5 workplace clusters, 4 community clusters and 1 detention center cluster. The Perikatan National Government has their own plans to ensure that all issues in the country can be solved efficiently. And according to Minister at the Prime Minister's Department of Economy, Dato Sri Mustafa Mohamad, discussions are constantly being held in the Cabinet involving party representatives from PAS, UMNO, Bersatu, MIC, MCA and other allies. Despite allegations that the PN government does not have a clear-cut manifesto, Dato Sri Mustafa explained that the government is constantly looking for new ways to solve the country's issues through short and long-term methods. This includes the national budget announced by the government last year, as well as numerous stimulus packages involving vast expenditures.
Jadi kita ada 7 ni, ada jangka pendek, jangka sedang dan jangka panjang. Jangka panjang kita sudah ada wawasan kemampuan bersama untuk 10 tahun. Jangka sederhana kita ada rancangan Malaysia 12. Walaupun belum dibentangkan di Parlimen, beberapa elemen rancangan Malaysia 12 sudah pun kita laksanakan. Umpamanya pada 19 Februari, Perdana Menteri sudah mengumumkan satu blueprint bentuk rangka tindakan untuk pendigitalan. Sudah mengumumkan, sekarang sudah mula dilaksanakan. Ya. Ini kita ada dalam bidang pendigitalan yang merupakan satu aspek yang penting, termasuk dalam bidang kesihatan, dalam pendidikan, semuanya terangkum dalam berkait dengan pendigitalan.
He was countering the statement by UMNO President Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, claiming that PN does not have a proper vision due to lack of a clear manifesto. Well, there is no partiality issue between regular citizens and public figures. And this was highlighted by Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Badur when asked to comment on the issuance of compounds for violating standard operating procedures, SOPs of the Movement Control Order. Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said civilians were immediately issued compounds when violating SOPs as they were arrested by police. Meanwhile, the offences committed by some public figures were found out later after their photos and videos went viral.
Dalam kes-kes yang dikatakan VVIP ini, kebanyakannya adalah kes yang kita dapat tahu kemudian. Ya, dia bukan ketika itu. Jadi dalam kes sebegini, wajarnya SOP polis ialah buka kertas siasatan. Dia akan dipanggil, dirakamkan kenyataan dia, menjawab, ya, mengikut gambar-gambar ataupun video-video yang viral tadi. Ya.
The IGP was commenting on the alleged business trip by celebrity Nilofa and her husband Haris Ismail at Langkawi Island, adding that a thorough investigation will be conducted on the couple. Well, tomorrow, the Court of Appeal is scheduled to hear Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak's appeal against his conviction and jail sentence for misappropriation of 42 million ringgit of SRC International Sendirian Berhad funds. It is the former Premier's first appeal after the Kuala Lumpur High Court on 28th July last year sentenced him to 12 years jail and fined him 210 million ringgit after he was found guilty on 7 charges of criminal breach of trust, or CBT, money laundering and abuse of position. Well, apart from 5th April, the court also fixed 6 to 8th, 12 to 15 and 19 to 22nd April to hear the appeal. Dato Sri Najib has submitted 307 grounds in his petition of appeal on why he should be cleared of the charges. On 28th July last year, High Court Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali sentenced Dato Sri Najib to 10 years jail on each of the 3 counts of CBT and each of the 3 counts of money laundering, and 12 years jail and a 210 million ringgit fine in default 5 years jail in the case of abuse of position. However, he will only serve 12 years in jail as the judge ordered all the jail sentences to run concurrently. Dato Sri Najib, 67, is currently out on bail of 2 million ringgit and 2 sureties pending appeal. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah was conferred the honorary doctorate in leadership in public health in conjunction with the 48th convocation of University Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM yesterday. Well, the scroll was presented to him by UKM Chancellor Tuanku Muhriz Almarhum Tuanku Munawir. In a post on his Twitter account, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham thanked the Yang di-Pertuan Besar of Negeri Sembilan Tuanku Muhriz Tuanku Munawir for presenting him the award. He regarded the award as a recognition of the commitment and dedication of educators at UKM and all the health workers. He also expressed appreciation and gratitude to UKM and its Faculty of Medicine for the award, adding that as an alumnus of the UKM Faculty of Medicine in 1988 and 1994, he was also proud to see the success achieved by graduates who received their degrees at this convocation ceremony, which is held under the new normal circumstances. The Health DG also expressed his appreciation to his mentor, Professor Emeritus Dr. Freda Andrea Mea, who is an endocrinologist, for her congratulatory speech. Last year, Dr. Noor Hisham was awarded the 2019 Distinguished Alumni by the UKM Faculty of Medicine for his great contribution in the field of medicine. In our foreign front, EU countries dispute over vaccine distribution. Well, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin arrived in Bandar Seri Begawan today for a 2-day official visit to Brunei. He was greeted by Crown Prince and senior minister at the Prime Minister's office, Pangeran Muda Al Muhtadi Billah, upon arrival at the Brunei International Airport at 4 p.m. The Prime Minister was accorded an official welcoming ceremony at the airport. Well, Foreign Minister Dato Sri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein was also at the airport to welcome the Prime Minister. The official visit is held at the invitation of Sultan of Brunei, Sultan Haji Hassan Al Bolkiah. Well, Tan Sri Muhyiddin undertakes the official visit in conjunction with the 23rd Malaysia-Brunei Darussalam Annual Leaders Consultation. And the Prime Minister is expected to hold a meeting with His Majesty at Istana Nurul Iman tomorrow morning before they proceed with the Annual Leaders Consultation at the same place. The annual meeting provides an opportunity for both leaders to discuss post-COVID-19 cooperation, and this, among others, will include discussions on the establishment of the Reciprocal Green Lane, or RGL, arrangement, initiating cooperation in vaccine diplomacy between both countries and closer economic cooperation. While during the annual consultation, both leaders will also be witnessing the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding on Natural Disaster Management, as well as the unitization agreement between Petronas and Brunei's National Unitization Secretariat in the oil and gas sector. Meanwhile, Dato Sri Hishamuddin said the meeting between the 2 ASEAN leaders with Brunei, the current chair of the regional grouping, is very important in view of current developments in Myanmar. He added that the issue will be at the top of the agenda when both leaders deliberate on regional issues.
Pada peringkat awal tu kita terpaksa memikirkan SOP yang terbaik kaedah di mana kedua-dua pemimpin dapat membincangkan isu-isu yang kadang-kalanya agak sensitif yang menyentuh kedudukan ASEAN sendiri apabila kita fikirkan apa yang melanda Myanmar pada hari ini. Jadi untuk mewujudkan asas pertimbangan kita hari ini bila dibincangkan dengan Datuk Irwan, itu luar jangkaan saya. Kerana bukan secara simbolik dan lawatan fizikalnya, tetapi the substance daripada lawatan ini. Itu yang di luar jangkaan saya, dan saya percaya bahawa ini banyak berkisar kepada keikhlasan dan juga kesedaran kedua-dua belah pihak bahawa dunia sekarang ni yang kita terpaksa meniti merupakan dunia yang penuh dengan cabaran, dan kita hanya dapat melaluinya kalau kita bekerjasama rapat. Dan Malaysia.
Well, Terengganu hockey team THT took home the TNB Cup with a 2-0 penalty shootout win, ending University Kuala Lumpur UniKL's dream of a double treble at the National Hockey Stadium in Bukit Jalil last night. Having clinched the 2021 Malaysia Hockey League or MHL Charity Shield and league title, UniKL were hoping to complete their second consecutive treble, but THT exploded into life to claim their 6th TNB Cup crown in the dramatic clash. Defending champions UniKL had a smooth start, putting 2 goals in the THT's net through 35-year-old hitman Tengku Ahmad Tajuddin Tengku Abdul Jalil's 9th-minute deflected shot and penalty stroke goal 4 minutes later. Just seconds before the end of the first quarter, THT talisman Faisal Sari reduced the deficit to hand his team a lifeline. The East Coast side then turned up the heat and scored 2 goals through Muhammad Arif Shafi Ishaq on 17-minute penalty corner and Muhammad Akimullah Anwar Isok to take a 3-2 lead. UniKL fought back to make it 3-3 through national defender Muhammad Razi Abdul Rahim's 35th-minute penalty corner goal. The unrelenting pace never slowed down, and it was no surprise when Faisal's second for the night put THT 4-3 ahead in the 38th minute and become the season's top scorer with 16 goals. Unwilling to go down, UniKL hit back to level the score at 4-4 with a fantastic goal by Muhammad Asran Hamsani and forced the match to be decided on penalties.
Okay, we started the wrong foot, but we managed to come back from 2 goals down. It was hard work all the way. And then we at one time 4-3, we should have kept our cool. But we lost touch of the game and then we let them equalize. So we make things very, very hard. So there are patches, but for entertainment-wise, it was good.
Meanwhile, in the women's Vivian May Soares Cup final, PKS Uni10 KPT retained the title with a slim 1-0 win over newcomers UniKL ladies. Nurul Faiza Shafiqah Kalim's 54th-minute penalty corner goal was sufficient for Lailin Abu Hassan's charges to lift the cup for the 4th time after 2015, 2018 and 2020.
Alhamdulillah, dengan kemenangan ini, saya nampak pemain-pemain saya begitu bersungguh-sungguh untuk mencapai kejayaan, walaupun ditentang oleh pihak UniKL, di mana kita dapat saksikan bahawa banyak penalti corner yang mereka dapat, tapi dengan komitmen yang tinggi dan juga disiplin setiap pemain, mereka dapat membendung segala attack yang dilakukan oleh pihak UniKL. Dan saya juga bersyukur dengan segala usaha yang telah dijalankan pemain sepanjang persiapan untuk menghadapi perlawanan akhir ini.
In football, Selangor FC have finally found their winning rhythm to break the losing spell in the Super League after defeating UiTM FC 2-0 at the UiTM Stadium in a Super League match. Meanwhile, in the Kuala Lumpur City FC Sabah FC match, which was a match under the pilot spectator management protocol, ended in a scoreless draw at Kuala Lumpur Stadium in Cheras. This is the second victory of the squad under German coach Carsten Hetzel after going through 2 draws and 2 losses in the last 4 games to accumulate 8 points at the 7th spot. The 2 goals of the Red Giants were netted in the first half. It began with Swiss import Oliver Buff, who broke the stalemate with a thunderous volley in the 13th minute. Last season's top striker Ifedayo Olusegun made it 2-0 in the 40th minute. Both sides remained adamant after the interval, however, the scoreline remained until the final whistle was blown. Well, Penang FC remained in 4th place in the Super League, sharing 11 points with Terengganu FC in 3rd spot after bouncing back to overcome Perak FC 2-1 at Penang City Stadium. The Bosgorus, who only collected 1 point in 3 earlier matches, went ahead in the 12th minute by Sheridan Baboev, who easily pushed the ball into the goal after goalkeeper Samuel Jacob Somerville failed in his attempt to palm off the ball. Defender Rafael Vitor emerged the hero of the team with a header in the 70th after Anselmo Arruda da Silva scored in first half to tie 1-1 2 minutes before the break.
We did not defend well all game. The defensive, maybe 2 central defenders and goalkeeper, okay, but as the team we did not play well. We did not defend well, and still I have more expectation about our possession and win game and creating chances. So look, we are meeting each other almost every week, and now maybe we will see each other during this week twice. So I'm saying if you are playing well, in long term you are getting the results.
Of course, we have an option, but it's just that we have been training for this way of playing style. It's just that, like what I said earlier, the build-up was beautiful, nice, and then just the final touch.
Well, great news for local football fans as Youth and Sports Minister Dato Sri Rizal Naina American announced that spectators will be allowed to watch Malaysia League or M-League matches at stadiums starting 6th April. The decision was made following the pilot project match for spectator admission to the stadiums between Johor Darul Takzim, JDT and Melaka United FC at the Sultan Ibrahim Stadium Iskandar Putri yesterday. In a statement by Dato Sri Rizal American, the monitoring and compliance of the standard operating procedures, the SOPs, at the Sultan Ibrahim Stadium has convinced the National Security Council, the MKN, to give the green light to the MFL in allowing the re-entry of spectators. Meanwhile, Malaysian Football League MFL Chief Executive Officer Dato Abdul Ghani Hassan, who welcomed the positive development, also hoped that the management of other teams would be ready to accept spectators at their respective venues. All Super League and Premier League matches are still subjected to MFL approval, where each team must submit a document on spectator entry permission first. Yesterday, 2,000 football fans were allowed to enter the stadium while practicing physical distancing throughout the match between JDT and Melaka United FC. And that's all the time we have this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. In our top story, government to look into vaccine supplies backup plan. More updates tomorrow at 12:30 tomorrow. Till then, I'm Amin Carlos. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and have a great night ahead.